just in. Breaking news, our top stories tonight. Dan Colman claims the belt on King of the Hill. Finally, a title to be proud of. Next up, Phil Ivey loses $10 million in court following a 2-year absence from the tournament scene. He really is the Tiger Woods of poker. Have you seen this naked man in your local poker room? I'm sorry, how about this guy? More details tonight. In shocking news, Party Poker has defeated PokerStars for Poker Operator of the Year. When reached for comment, PokerStars said good things come to those who rake. And finally, Pennsylvania is to approve online poker pending the governor's signature. They better hope they don't run into a blocker. All of this and more tonight on Poker News. Now, before we jump into today's stories, I do want to say we finally got something back from YouTube. YouTube sent in our very own silver play button. You get these for 100,000 subscribers. We hit it back in May. YouTube's not exactly the most on top of their schedule, but what really impressed me was a letter from the CEO of YouTube. Didn't know she was a fan. That's right, Susan. I know you're watching, and you know what I want. We both know what I want. I want more favorable ranking in the algorithm. Anyway, I just want to say that this is an awesome accomplishment. Even though we reached it back in May, really appreciate you guys who stopped by and joined the channel to make this a reality. And I'm going to keep this somewhere very, very special so that when we do videos in the future, we can all see it. All right, so where do we start? You know what, let's kick it off and talk about King of the Hill 3. King of the Hill 3 just went down. Our contestants were reigning champion Olivier Bousquet, Brandon Adams, Scott Blumstein, and also Dan Colman. And Dan Colman just got his broom out and swept his way into a victory. For his effort, Colman took down $200,000. Of course, $50,000 was his buy-in, so he's going to profit a nice little $150K, as well as getting an invite back to King of the Hill 4. Now, the last two King of the Hills, I personally think were a bit too close together. Hopefully, we have a little more space between them, but King of the Hill 4 should come at some point. We don't know when, but I'll let you guys know when we do. Oh yeah, and there was a cash game too, guys. And I got stuck big early, but then I started drinking, and we ended up winning 40K. So we did a reverse Doug Polk, if you will.
I'll tell you what, without looking, I'm in for the call.
Let's move on to our next story. And this one's a bit weird. I'm not exactly sure how this happened, but this picture was taken at the Bellagio where a naked man walked into the room and then apparently tried to register to sit down at a table and play some poker. For starters, how did he get there? How did he get so far through the casino? The poker room at the Bellagio is pretty deep inside the casino. He actually had to get by a few people completely naked and probably some security at some point to make this happen. Now, there was a lot of speculation as to whether this guy lost a bet, but some of the people who were there for the event seemed to think it was more likely to be alcohol or drugs. Regardless of how it happened, we've now seen 2 cases of naked poker players in just the last few months. You also remember this guy, Jason Funk, who was unfortunately shot by police officers while running to pick up his gun. Now, I don't know why these incidents seem to be happening a bit more frequently, but can we all just agree to keep our clothes on? I don't want to see you actually lose your shirt playing poker. And I definitely don't want to see anyone holding the nuts. Let's go ahead and jump into the story while you guys are really here. Party Poker winning Operator of the Year. Now, PokerStars has had this on lockdown for the past several years. PokerStars is a giant in the world of online poker. They have a massive market share. But this year, things appear to be different. Party Poker is making moves on many fronts, adding in extremely credible pros such as Fedor Holz and Jason Kuhn, expanding into a multitude of live events that have had huge guarantees and massive first place prizes, improving their software to make it even, actually their software is still pretty shit. But regardless, these guys have been making moves. They've brought back high stakes poker online. We saw some 100, 200 with some sizable pots going down with a variety of players in action, including Matt Kirk and Leon Sukernick. Awkward. It's pretty awkward. I have to say, it's good to see someone step up to the plate and take this away from Stars. Maybe this will start to make Stars a little more hungry to try and improve and grow not just the PokerStars brand, but also the game of poker. Because when someone becomes a monopoly, and PokerStars might not have been a pure monopoly, but they were getting pretty close with their control of the market, they start to make moves that are not in the best interest of the customers. We should support the best companies coming up to compete with Stars because that way it helps all of us. By playing at these sites that are maybe not as large as Stars is now, you help promote the future of the game. And that's what I think we all want when it comes to online poker.
We care a lot about what our players think.
Okay, I know that's not what you guys were here for. So let's go ahead and jump into it and talk about online poker in Pennsylvania. The timing here is amazing. I just checked the thread to get an update before recording this clip, and it turns out that Pennsylvania Governor Wolf has just signed the bill to make it legal for online poker in Pennsylvania. This is huge news. Pennsylvania is the 6th largest state in the country. They have around 12 million people. This is a big deal, especially when we think about the headline from just a few weeks ago, where the 3 states where online poker is currently legal, Nevada, Delaware, and New Jersey, will now have kind of already the infrastructure to add in another state if Pennsylvania chooses to join. That could be awesome. Imagine if Pennsylvania could team up and we could play in any of those states with everyone in all those states. We're starting to get a pool of states together that could be the future of online poker in America. Now, we don't want to get too excited because we don't know what Pennsylvania's plans are. Maybe they're planning on just keeping it within the state. Maybe they are planning on teaming it with some other states. But in a scenario where Pennsylvania does join the current pool, it puts kind of a precedent out there for large states to jump into online poker and team up with other states that are already a part of it. This could be the framework for legal U.S. online poker. Now, you might be asking yourself, I live in Pennsylvania, when will I be able to play online? And there are still a lot of things that have to happen before that becomes possible. It's likely to see somewhere in the second half of 2018, but it certainly could be later. We all know how the government works, or rather how it doesn't work. Will this maybe be the precedent needed for a state like Illinois to get in there, or a state like California? You know, California was responsible for 30 to 35% of all revenue in the US from online poker. Just getting California in there would be huge, and we would see almost half of the market return to where it was pre-Black Friday by adding that state into it. For now, it's all up in the air, especially with PokerStars lobbying against online poker in California, but I'll make sure to keep you guys up to date with what's going on with the legal status of poker in America.
You know, anytime you're in a relationship of any sort, there's going to be hitches. And when, right?
All right, that's it for me here at Poker News Productions. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episodes. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you again soon. All right. Ugh. Another one down. Oh, wait, we forgot about the Ivey story. Our final story here tonight is on Phil Ivey losing his $10 million case with Crockford's in the UK. Now, if you're familiar with the Phil Ivey case, and again, we've covered it a lot in this channel, so you've probably heard of it, he had 2 major lawsuits going on for edge sorting. Phil basically knew which cards were certain cards based on the patterns on the back of the cards and used exploiting that to make millions of dollars off of both the Borgata and Crockford's. Well, the Borgata case was a bit different and, of course, also settled right here in the U.S., where Borgata actually paid him the money out and he was then required to pay them back. Crockford's is a bit of a different story. They did not pay him out except for about $1 million of his 10 million US dollar win. It was actually about 7.7 million pounds, but I think we'll count it as 10 million US. Well, this case made its way up the UK ladder, ultimately culminating in landing in the Supreme Court of the UK, which is similar to the Supreme Court in America. It is the top court in all of the land. We got that verdict from the UK Supreme Court on October 25th, where they stated that in the case of Ivey versus Genting Casinos, The Supreme Court unanimously dismisses the appeal. Mr. Ivey's actions were positive steps to fix the deck and therefore constituted cheating. The test of dishonesty is that used in civil actions. There is no requirement that the defendant must appreciate that what he has done is dishonest. So basically, you don't have to say you cheated, but you cheated and we're not giving you the money. This appears to be the final nail in the coffin for this case, and it's been going on for a long time now. It is a little worrisome to see that Phil found a way to kind of exploit the system to get an edge in the casino, but it seems like the courts will rule that if the customer does have the edge, then it must be cheating. There is almost an inherent contract you sign as being a customer at a casino that you do not have a right to have edge against the house. And that's a little bit interesting to think about, because should we be a society that's all right with the occasional client having an edge against a casino if they find a way? Should we embrace that? You know, we go back and think about the blackjack card counters, the MIT card counters. Well, what do we think about that? They use strategy and skill in order to gain edge. Was that okay? Should they have been paid out that money? Where's the line where it becomes an edge that's acceptable versus one where it's not? And I'm going to be the first to admit what Phil did here was certainly questionable, and the exact details are still a bit murky. In some way, he got decks of cards to be used where he knew that the backs of them would indicate what cards they are. Maybe that is the line. Maybe the line is when the casino does not know the rules and you do, or the casino doesn't know about what you're using to win and you do. I'm not really sure. Personally, I feel like if the casino, went with the request from Phil Ivey, they should have paid him his winnings for winning. Does it make what he did okay? Probably not either, and it's certainly in a gray area. But it's not in a gray area when it comes to legality, as Phil Ivey has lost both of these cases, millions of dollars. No, that's actually just it. Just those two things, really. That is actually going to do it here from me. I'll see you guys again soon, and make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the Empire. Do it for Susan. She's on to us.